You never know how it's going to be on a Facebook Live. It's so fun because it's just authentic. My podcasts here are totally unscripted. I'm not reading anything. I have an idea, a concept, and then I just start talking. So you just never know how it's going to come, and I hope that you get something out of it. My name is Michelle Cox. I'm a certified life coach, and today we're talking about connection and the power that connection can have in creating and building resilience within you, within your body, within your brain, your nervous system, so that you can manage your life and feel more confident, feel more at peace, feel more like you can just breathe. You don't feel that restriction that we often feel when we're really stressed, when we're feeling overwhelmed. But we can breathe. So I'm happy to share some thoughts with you today. So when it comes to connection, I'm going to share a couple of stories that I think help to show what connection is and how there can be such a variety of ways that you can experience connection. And why do we need connection? How is this important? We're going to talk about all of these things today. So when you think about connection, maybe certain people come to mind or certain moments from your own life. And I can think of small things, big things, and in particular, I'm going to share a few experiences. So the first one being, it was around Valentine's Day, and a friend that I work with brought me a gift. We were meeting about something or spending time together. I don't remember exactly what brought us together that particular day, but she gave me a gift. And it was like a set of Valentine themed socks. That's all. And I felt connected to her. I felt that she cared about me. I felt that she thought of me. She was at the store and she thought of me. She was willing to spend a little bit of money on me. She took the time to come and spend time with me. That was a really sweet moment. That's a sweet example of someone offering connection and somebody receiving it. Another thought that came to my mind was a friend of mine had told me this would have been probably in about April or something a few years ago. And she told me about how she had lost her mom. And I think it was cancer, an illness of some kind, and how difficult that was. She was a young girl at the time, and just all the things that cascaded after that. Um, the change in their family dynamic. Her dad remarried, and it was really hard on her, and just all the different things that just continued to trail after that. And so when Mother's Day came around the following month, I thought about my friend when I was at church. I thought about how today probably has pain for her. It probably generates some feelings of loss and sorrow and grief. And I didn't get a chance to talk to her at church. And so I just had this feeling to go and drive out to her house after whatever meetings I had and knock on her door and just give her a hug and say, I can imagine that Mother's Day has some tender feelings for you. It might be a little bit challenging to have Mother's Day because of your experiences. And we were able to talk, and she shared more, and she said how that really meant a lot to her, that someone would think of her and be able to I was able to put myself in her shoes and have that sort of empathy. Well, I have experience with loss as well, so that helps me to have that empathy for her and for others who experience loss. And so that's another example of connection. It can be something where it's born out of fun and friendship, some cute themed socks that are so comfortable. I love them. Or thinking about someone's own pain, what pain they might be experiencing, and going to them and making that time. So I think about also people who've come to me when I've been in pain or they've thought I might be hurting. And what a powerful thing that is to have that connection, have that experience that helps me to know other people care. other people are aware of me. Connection is a really powerful thing to have in your life and such a necessary thing. And I'm going to talk about how to build connection, and give you some ideas of how you can have more experiences feeling that connection to other people. But I want to give a little bit of framework for why connection is so important for us. And the first thing being, um, my handy posters that you get to see over and over if you watch more of my episodes here. But this is the basis of everything, all of our experiences. The nervous system. Thank you to the nervous system for helping us to have experiences with emotion and to feel something. And we often want to shut down when something is painful and it feels uncomfortable. Our muscles are tight, maybe to a point of that part is painful, the tightness of muscles, or the cramp you might feel in your stomach, in your gut, because it's all connected, right? That whole system is all connected. But think about how your thoughts influence and create your experience in your body. Your emotions are a physical experience. They're not just some vapor, I like to say. They are a collection of physical symptoms. I have a thought about my friend bringing me socks on Valentine's Day just for fun. And I think, oh, that's a nice thing. She thought of me. And it sends a signal into my body that helps maybe my muscles to relax and I can settle into that feeling. And it just feels really good. And there's a feeling of safety and peace, and things are good and cared about. And then I think about my friend who I thought, oh, she's probably hurting today on Mother's Day, missing her own mom. And it sends a signal into my body that maybe there's a little discomfort for me too, because I'm remembering what it felt like to have loss when I lost my brother. And so I might have a little bit of that ache, but I'm willing to hold on to that ache and let it move me to visit my friend. There's that experience then of kind of a relief, being able to comfort someone and to recall the people who comforted me when I lost my brother, friends that would show up at my doorstep and want to check on me. And those are sweet thoughts, sweet memories. And so there's that motivation to try to help her to have that kind of a sweet moment as well. We want to pass that along. That's what connection can do. And so when we are having an experience in our body with our nerves, our nervous system affecting our heart rate, our lungs, our gut, our facial expression, the tightness of muscles all throughout our body, it's all impacted by our thinking. And so when we are thinking about someone caring about us, when we have that experience, then we are likely to have our nervous system in a state of safety and to feel that, okay, I'm okay. I have a friend. I have someone who cares about me. I have resources. I have someone I can turn to when I have questions, when I need help. That's what connection does. When we have this calming influence that can come from interacting with someone and feeling that they care, that does so much good for our body, because when we are in our zone of resilience, our nervous system is in a state of safety, then our bodies can rest and digest, right? When we're tense and uptight and angry or fearful or lonely or feeling isolated and forgotten, the lack of connection, we cannot rest. Our body cannot rest. It's feeling threatened by that sense that we're in it all on our own. So connection helps to calm any sort of sense of overwhelm. It can. When we think, oh, I have someone who cares about me. I have someone who wants to help me, who's on my side. someone I can turn to and say, I just need a little bit of advice, or can you just let me bounce some ideas off of you? Can you just be a sounding board for a little bit? Having a relationship like that, whew, that's very relieving. So while we're in our state of safety, our bodies can rest and digest. It also allows our brain, our thinking part of our brain, to be enlightened, to be lit up, to be ignited. And when we're in that state, we're able to be more creative and compassionate. We're able to feel more self-trust. So we feel better about ourselves when we are experiencing connection with other people and feeling that mutual respect. We feel more motivated. We have more balance in our lives. So connection, having those interactions with people, where they're not just here to take advantage of you. There's some give and take. You give to them, you share with them, they share with you. You carry burdens together, you grieve together. Connection doesn't always have to be pretty. It doesn't always have to be sweet and delightful, but connection, when you're able to bond with someone and have a mutual shared grief, that can bring some relief to you that you're not alone in that. And the reason why I'm bringing up connection today is because it is one of the 5 pillars of a supported nervous system. So I always like to say a supported nervous system is a resilient nervous system. You know what to do to take care of your teeth. You know what to do to take care of your heart. You've been taught it since kindergarten. But we don't talk enough about how to create a strong and resilient nervous system. Our brain is real. It's something tangible. Our nerves, our spinal column, that's all tangible. It's all physical. It's all real. It's a real system, just like your circulatory system or your digestive system. We need to take care of our nervous system, and connection is a very powerful way to do that. And as we put into practice different behaviors and choices that can help us to kind of check some of these boxes, to have connection, movement, nutrition, sunlight, sleep, all of these things help our nervous system to be more resilient, so that when we are triggered, something is difficult, that resilience is like an internal belief. I have capacity to survive and handle this. I don't have to go into full-blown fight mode and start yelling at everybody. I don't have to go into full-blown flight mode or freeze and avoid everyone and pull the covers over our heads and pretend like nothing's happening. We don't have to go to any extremes. When we have resilience, we are better able to navigate the small up and down that happens, fluctuation, and then also to have a tool set that can help you when things are bigger, when there are bigger challenges. And so a good example is when we talk about dysregulation. Someone is dysregulated. Their nervous system is having an extreme, maybe a bigger reaction to something than they need to. So, for instance, have you ever been driving and you're just driving along and you're maybe needing to make a turn, you're not exactly sure when it's coming, so you're slowing down to make sure you're going to get your turn when it comes, and you're kind of trying to follow the map, right? And you slow down and someone behind you starts honking like, hurry up. And you're just like, wait a minute, I'm new here, and you find your street and you turn, and then they just like gun it and go past you and just try to make it very obvious that you have disrupted their flow. You threw the emperor off his groove. We watched that movie the other day. My kids thought that was a lot of fun. And so people don't want their groove to be thrown off, and they might react in a much bigger way than they needed to, right? So the person behind me, they could have slowed down too. 100 more yards, I found my street, I turned, and then they could go on their merry way. That didn't have to bother them at all. It didn't have to. So if we live in such a way that we're not supporting our nervous system, we're not taking care of our physical body, it's going to affect the way that we handle triggers. And if we are dysregulated, we're giving a much bigger reaction than it really calls for. It didn't have to be that serious, to be honking and then zooming off past someone, just to really let them know. Let them have it. Kick out as much exhaust billow in their face if you can. So when we are responding to our children, to our spouse, the better we take care of our nervous system, the better we're able to see things in perspective, put it in perspective. We don't have to make it as big of a deal as we might otherwise if we're dysregulated. So an example from parenting would be your child has left craft supplies all over the kitchen table. Anyone want to come over and see my kitchen table right now? But if I were to go to my child's room and just start laying in and saying, you always leave everything out, and you always forget to clean up, and you never do this, and you never, and you always, okay? Never and always are pretty good indicators when you are a little bit dysregulated. If you come at someone saying you always, you never, that's a helpful sign that you might be dysregulated. You might be making something much bigger and more exaggerated than it is. So a regulated nervous system would say, oh, I'd really like this table to be cleared off. And it looks like my artist in residence, I have several. My husband's an artist, but my child artist in residence is done. They've moved on to something else. Well, I can go into their room and say, oh, I love what you created. It's time to clean it up. We'd like to have that table free so we can have games or we can do something else. Okay, and let's go get it done. That's a regulated nervous system. It's not going to be bellowing lava and volcanic explosions at the child who left the mess. That's regulation. And when you have a source of connection, and we're going to talk about sources now, but when you have a regular and steady and reliable source of connection, you're less likely to become dysregulated or triggered by smaller things. They're really not that big. And when something bigger comes, you feel it. Oh, this is hard. Ooh, I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm not sure what to do about this. You allow yourself to have that initial reaction of, ooh, this is tough. This is painful. Okay, now what am I going to do about it? How am I going to handle this? And you keep that thinking and reasoning part of your brain available to you. And that is how you have resilience in a very hard situation. And so the better you take care of your nervous system, the better you're able to do that. Feel it, notice that pain, that trigger, that challenge, that stressor. Name it, acknowledge it, and then take that deep breath to calm your body and say, okay, I'm not sure how to resolve this. I don't know how to make this problem go away or resolve, right? But I know I will be able to. And that's the difference. Okay. So let's think about connection, sources of connection. So sources of connection, and again, I want to establish that there's like a mutual reciprocation. There's a mutual respect, there's a mutual care and concern and compassion, and just that humanity is going both ways. Not just humanity, because I don't know that animals have humanity. They're not humans, but animals can reciprocate, right? Oh, those dogs that just slobber on the window as you're driving up because they're so excited to see you. That might be a joyful thing for you. that might feel like connection to you. But that's what I mean, is there's going to be this mutual concern and care. So connection, how do we find connection in our busy lives? We have a lot going on. So I wanted to offer a few different levels or types of connection. And for some people, because we're all different and wonderful and unique and amazing, some things are much more potent and valuable to you than others. Yeah, I don't really care to have pets. I have 6 kids, and I don't think of them as pets, but my point being that I give them a lot of my attention and affection, and I don't really feel like I need an animal as well. But some people have children and pets, and they love both, and they get that connection, and I support that 100%. But my point being that not everybody's gonna have the same thing that they're gonna attach to and receive some sort of satisfying connection, all right? So connection could be other people, right? It could be humans. It could be people in your family, people at work. It could be your neighbor. It could be someone that you only see on every third Tuesday when you go for bowling or mahjong. Mahjong's popular, or to play pickleball. You might not ever see them outside of that context, but when you're there, you're excited to see each other. You just kind of pick up where you left off, and this is great. You're excited to see each other every third Tuesday, right? So people can be that source of connection. And I want to submit that if you are giving to someone and they're not really reciprocating, I don't know that's really connection. So if you're in a friendship where it's very one-sided, maybe they're kind of demanding and they're not really offering an open and authentic version of themselves and allowing you to be yourself or to have a mutual, you know, a collaboration on your activities and things you're going to do, and it's always like, well, this is what they want to do. I had a boyfriend like that. So we didn't last very long. It was all got to be his idea, his activities, go to his thing, but he didn't want to come to mine. All right, that's not really connection. I don't really have a name for that. There's probably a name, but I don't see that as connection that's going to support my nervous system. So be aware of that when you're in the dating world. Okay, what else can bring connection? I've already talked about, so like pets. I think pets can be wonderful and people can love their chickens. They can love their dog, their cat, their rabbit, um, their pet goats. I'm in East Texas. Yeah, people have goats and chickens and that's wonderful. And animals can have just this, they don't judge you. They don't have any sort of requirement that you need to meet. You don't have to have your hair done. They'll love you if your hair is a mess or if it's beautiful. That doesn't matter. And so you can get this very unconditional love, especially from dogs, I think. I hear a lot of people talk about that. And so I think that's a wonderful thing. If you're having some issues feeling lonely, do you have a pet? Is there an animal that you really love and that you feel drawn to? And that would be reasonable for you to have. I mean, a baby panda would be fun, but maybe that's not very reasonable for where you live, right? So connection, when we're looking at how are we going to establish connection, what kind of expectations do we have? And we go back to people, are we expecting this friend to just drop everything and come at every beck and call that you have? Are they going to answer on the first ring? Do you get upset when they don't respond to your text within 5 minutes? You know, maybe you have a little bit of an imbalanced perspective on what should be going on in a relationship. It needs to be reasonable. It needs to be respectful and not demanding. You won't get any sort of connection when you're demanding, demanding, demanding. It be a certain way. You got to be open to that person being genuine and themselves. Give them space to hang out with other people. They don't have to only hang out with you. And being okay with that, you feel safe knowing we have a real connection. We have a real friendship. I'm not threatened if they want to spend time with a different friend tomorrow. It's okay. That's a powerful way to have connection. You're not lonely and despondent if they're having a fun time with somebody else. Okay. In a marriage, though, I think there's a lot of guardrails that do need to be put up around that relationship and keep it safe and keep it strong and resilient. So if one spouse is spending a lot of time with buddies and really neglecting the family, and that can really sabotage that link and that connection. So there needs to be, again, reasonable expectations and some real boundaries to protect that marriage. You are creating something special and something that has such power for connection that if you're neglecting that, you're really going to feel it. You're going to feel that loss. Okay. So connection can also be to nature. All right. We live in a beautiful place in East Texas, beautiful gardens and trails through the woods, and we've got lakes nearby. And we had beautiful sunsets here. It's gorgeous. I mean, we just have these 100-foot trees that block it. But being out in nature and feeling that piece that you are of this massive puzzle, that you're this living organism, this living being, and you have an impact on this world around you. You can cultivate a garden. You can plant plants and flowers. You can have potted flowers in your house. There are many ways to feel connected to nature. And that can be very soothing for our nervous system. And that can be very healing if we're going through something that feels stressful, but spending time noticing the beautiful colors, listening to the different kinds of birds, feeling the breeze on your face, watching the colors change in the sky as the sun goes down. Finding opportunities to be in nature is really powerful. It's good for your nervous system. You feel connected to this beautiful planet that we live on. So these are beautiful ways to build connection. There's also connection with God, a higher being. This is a tremendous source of connection for me personally. My life has purpose and meaning. I am heavily involved in my church. I feel this relationship with God as I serve others. I feel His love for me as I contemplate the blessings in my life and consider the responsibilities that I have to honor Him and to serve others. This brings a sense of peace because I know who I am. I have this identity and purpose. And so that's where connection is really powerful. I have an identity with people in my life. I am a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a sister, a daughter, a friend, a neighbor. I'm a committee member in different nonprofits. I participate in my community. And so I feel that I have an identity there with them. I know who I am. Um, Again, pets, I'm not the greatest example, but there are others of you that really derive that. You get that affection from your pet. It feels good. I'm glad. I want you to have that. Nature, I love to be in nature. I love going for walks. I love hiking in the mountains. I love going on rivers in a canoe. I love all of that. I love to be at the beach at the sunrise. Texas beaches, we get the sunrise view really good down at Crystal Beach and and just seeing this beautiful system that just keeps going, whether I get out of bed or not, whether I washed my hair that day or not, doesn't matter. The sun still goes up and then it comes back down and it comes back up. And to feel that reliability, I think can also bring that feeling of stability. Okay, the sun's going to come back up tomorrow. It's a new day, fresh start day. Okay, and then with God, a higher being having a higher purpose. And I highly do recommend looking for sources that provide that feeling of identity and connection and purpose, and that you have a stability around you in your environment and within yourself. So, connection with self is the last thing I wanted to put today. How can you have connection with yourself? People, this is, I think, such an important part of mental wellness. Having a sense of who you are, not being at odds with your body, being upset that it's in pain, upset that it's hurting, upset that this thing is happening, and because of that, I have a stomach ache, and being mad at your body for it. But I think when you have connection with yourself, you're allowing yourself to be a human being who feels a huge array of emotions, has a huge amount of different kinds of experiences, And we respond to different experiences in different ways, and it's okay. Some things feel easy. Some things feel kind of irritating. Some things feel really heavy. And when you give yourself connection to yourself, when you offer that gift, you're allowed to feel how you feel. You're allowed to be bothered by this. You're allowed to feel great sorrow. But then you also look at, how can I move forward? When I'm experiencing something that's really heavy and confusing, I don't want to stay long term feeling overwhelmed and sorrowful and discouraged, and then start to berate myself and, get all that negative self-talk going. It can be a really painful spiral, and it's so harmful for our feelings of connection or identity or purpose. So I want you to think about how you can build connection with other people. How can you get involved in your community? How can you extend maybe a little extra patience and kindness and compassion to your children, to your spouse, to people you share your home with, or your extended family, your parents? How can you share that with them? How can you create opportunities to be open and vulnerable and honest, and also to have fun and laugh and play? I can't say enough how important it is to be playful and to be joyful and to have fun and to laugh. Yesterday was a busy day. I had, excuse me, several things going on. And my kids, when I got home, I was like, "Ooh, I was pretty tired. I need to sit down for a while." And they're like, "Let's go swimming." And we have access to a friend's pool while they're out of town. And I was just like, "Oh my goodness, I just don't even, I just don't even want to get off the couch for a while." But I did. I got up, I had some dinner, healthy food. I had a nice salad, feeding my microbiome in my gut. Helps me to get my serotonin release, help me to manage my emotions, right? I started to pick up and feel some more energy. We got over to the friend's house, convinced my husband to come too. He had a busy day too, and he hadn't finished everything. So he at first was like, "I don't think I have time." But he ended up coming. Can I tell you, we had the best time. An hour and a half of just chasing each other around, Marco Polo, torpedoing each other, whatever. It was exactly what we needed. We need to be lighthearted. We need to have fun. We need to unwind. We need to relax. We really need to relax. Chillax, dude, as they say. Like, don't be so tight. Play with your kids. Stop bossing them around, telling them to be quiet. Play and be loud with them. Giggle and laugh and squeal and scream and do it all with them, right? So have that, do that. Look for how you can find connection in nature. I just want to close with that. Really see, again, when you install that belief that you can find a way, you will. Your brain will look for it. You'll create it. You'll schedule it. You'll make it happen. And you won't feel so powerless. We feel a lot of our anxiety and depression and all the things that we struggle with emotionally are because we don't believe we can. We don't believe we can make things better. We don't think there's a solution to our loneliness or our disconnect. We don't believe it. So we have to believe it. If you believe you can't make connection, you won't. You'll stay home and you won't be a friend. You'll hide. And then you'll say, "Nobody likes me." They don't know you. You didn't give them a chance. We have to install that belief that we can. We can build relationships. We can make good friendships. We can be that friend, that spouse, that parent that gives and takes in a healthy and flowing and mutually respectful way. Believe it's possible, and then you'll make it happen. So, everybody today who came on, thank you for watching. I hope that you will remember this this key. This is a pillar for resilience in your nervous system. Make time for connection. Don't just be work, work, work all the time. We have to relax. We have to unwind. We have to be playful and allow it. Enjoy it. Guess what? You get to have fun. Permission. And see how you can feel better. Widen that zone of resilience so you're not so easily triggered, so easily upset, so easily offended, or want to give up, right? You have the capacity, you have the building blocks. Start working on it. Just a little by little. Doesn't usually take huge amounts of effort, just a little bit at a time to build relationships, make them stronger, get yourself outside, enjoy nature, take care of yourself, honor yourself, be patient and compassionate with yourself. You'll feel the difference as you put this into practice. So thank you for joining me today. We'll talk about the other keys later on in future episodes. This is Let's Talk episode number 49. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again next week.